There was one last part of the garden that I wanted to redesign for this season, and I managed to get that done this week. So welcome back to the garden here in Neath, South Wales. Well, I think I better make this a little bit quick today because I think it's going to rain any minute. But there was one last part of the garden that I wanted to tackle, and that was the Crocosmia over on that part of the garden that needed to be dug out. So a few days ago, I finally got that job done. So let's take a look now and see the difference. So this was how the garden looked a few days ago. As you can see, the Crocosmia has totally overgrown this part of the garden, and hiding in here I've got a lovely phormium that's really not doing its best. There's not a lot of space for it, and there's actually 2 Tracky Carpus planted here, which I haven't really seen for a long time. And so I think it's time just to sort out this area and dig out a lot of these Crocosmia. As you walk now down the garden, you can see that where all those Crocosmia were, I've just thinned that area out completely. It was quite a big job. And just look at that palm tree there. That's a little Tracky Carpus and a slightly larger one there, which you couldn't even see before. I'd actually forgotten that I'd planted that one. And considering it's been neglected for a while, stuck in amongst loads of other plants, it seems to be doing okay. The phormium now has got a lot more room in the centre, and I'm not sure, I don't think I've got all of the Crocosmia up from the centre of the garden, so a few more may pop through now and again, but I can keep that under control. I'm also loving, since I sorted out this part of the garden here, I'm loving this Tracky Carpus here, and I didn't realise that that had grown so big. And looking at it a little bit closer, I realised it's actually a triple trunker. There's 3 trunks on this. If I'd known that when I planted it, although I really wasn't into my tropical gardening as much as I am now, but if I'd known that, I probably would have put this in the centre of the garden where it's going to have a lot more space, because this, I think, is going to grow into quite a large example, and it's in really good health. There's new fronds coming out on it. And it's lovely to find something in the garden that you haven't really seen for quite a while, as it's been hidden away amongst loads of other plants. But what a little beauty. So continuing down the path, like I showed in my last video, this is where there was a bamboo, and I dug that out in the week, and that was quite a job. And next to the Schefflera there, that's a really nice example. Look at that. That's a Mahonia confusa. Lovely and soft plant that. And that should do well. And this has opened up beautifully now with a little bit more space. the Schefflera Taiwaniana. And so a few more changes here now. I've just added in another fern from another part of the garden, just to underplant the Fatsia japonica there. I've also got to find time today just to put some string on this jasmine. This is a star jasmine by the wildlife pond, and that is growing really well since I planted it there a few weeks ago. And I'm really happy that that's growing. So I just need to stabilise it against the trellis. Now my triangular bed down the bottom of the garden, this is where the Euphorbia John Phillips is, and this is grown into a huge plant. But behind that I did have 2 Fargesia rufas, and I realised that they were going to grow quite large. So what I did this morning is I dug them out and just replaced them with something else. So this is right down the bottom of the garden now, and this is the area where I had 2 bamboos, and there is no way that they would have been able to fit here, as I know now they're going to grow into quite big plants. And so taking a look now at the wildlife pond, my parents were visiting today, and so we decided to take out 1 or 2 of the tadpoles so that we could see exactly what was happening and how much they formed. And we did find out that they had some back legs coming, so it won't be long now before they start turning into frogs and jumping around the garden. I have been trying to keep down some of this weed in the pond, and that's just to give a little bit more oxygen into the water. But you can see there that there's plenty of tadpoles just swimming away. And then it was time just to release them back safely into the water. And this here is a Salvia amistad, and I bought this last week, and this plant is going to get a lot bigger than this. And just look at the size now on the Dicksonia antarctica. It's only been a few weeks since these fronds were fighting to get out of the top. It's done so well, and every few waterings I've been just watering it with some half-strength Tomerite, and it seems to be doing the job. Just look at the size on them fronds. And just remember, if you're going to grow a tropical garden, these plants are going to grow big. So don't make the same mistake that I did, and don't go over planting, because they will grow. Now at the side of the greenhouse, I've also got growing another Fargesia rufa here. And this one's quite a large size as well, so I've just kept the 2 of them now in the garden. And I think 2 of these is absolutely plenty for a garden of this size. So just be warned, if you are going to buy a bamboo, they do grow pretty large. And the Yucca rostrata in the pot is also doing well. This has probably doubled in size now since we bought it last year. What a fantastic plant. And this Waggy palm is also doing well in the garden. And there's loads of new growth just coming in the centre. Now these palm trees, the Waggies, are much better for your garden if you live in a windier location, as the leaves on these are a lot stiffer than the Virginiae. I think that my favourite palm tree though in the garden has got to be this Virginiae which sits in the centre. It's not the largest, but it's definitely the greenest of them all. Plenty of new growth there in the centre, and it's such a happy plant. And this gets fed with some liquid seaweed and also plenty of chicken manure pellets about twice a season. And by feeding the earth, it definitely makes the plant a very happy one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a look around the garden with me today, and please comment, like and subscribe. It's completely free, and until next time, I'll see you all soon. Bye for now. Oh no, I forgot to say it. So don't make the same mistake I did. Yeah, okay, right, I'm going. 1, 2, 3. Should we go? Right. Well, you can't tell me because it's recording. And just remember, if you're going to grow a tropical garden, these plants are going to grow big. So don't make the same mistake that I did, and don't go over planting because they will grow.